And welcome everyone to a bland, boring, monotonous, illogical, and ridiculous episode of the Voices of the Voiceless podcast. I'm monotone, just like the feeling from Monday Night Raw. Brad.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's our special holiday edition of the Voices of the Voiceless podcast.
What? Hold on. Monday at 10:26 p.m. I'm one of the admins on Wrestling News Hub's Facebook page. You should go like it. It's pretty fun. My co-admin's an idiot, and he likes to shoot videos in vertical, which is not how you're supposed to do it. It's a good time. We post a lot of our news there and some commentary, some memes, and it's a good time. I think we're almost at 5,000 likes. We're at 4,286. Monday at 10:26 p.m. I put, quote, I checked out of this boring, monotonous, bland, unoriginal, illogical, and ridiculous episode of Raw. Gotta love the Slammy Awards. What a load of garbage. So I almost reread my exact quote from Raw word for word because, well, that's just how I've been feeling the past couple of days. I don't know about you. You're in a great mood because, well, why?
It's Christmas.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The fact, and today's show is pretty open. I mean, next week, I haven't even told Brad, it's going to be our end of the year awards for WWE. So I'm excited for that. And unless Brad's on vacation, we're going to be able to do it because it won't be on a holiday. Exactly. It'll be after Christmas and in between New Year's Eve. So there's that workaround or reach around for the women out there. So I think, what? I'm just going to be honest here. It's Christmas. Remember the season of giving and receiving.
Ho, ho, hos.
No, hey, Noel Foley isn't here today.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Yeah.
I'm waiting for you. I told you I took on a new character, and it's the viewer. No, is the mark of Raw, and this is what the marks are doing right now, just living in depression.
How did you like that text that I sent you about Frank the Clown?
The
creepy clown.
Yeah, what was that about? Because I tried to wrap my head around it, and I wear a size 8 hat, everyone. I have a pretty big head. And when you sent me that, and I'm going to go back and read it again for everybody at home. Where the fuck did you put it? No, where the fuck did we text that much? We must have. Fuck it. What did he say? Was it he says he wants to suck the Saints' dick or something?
It was one of those players where he wanted to have his babies or something like that.
I think he wanted to like.
Please have my babies. Or something.
Oh, have my children, Antonio Brown. He's not even a
yes. Yeah.
I'll tell you this: Antonio Brown's a cocksucker, and all he cares about are his statistics and his fantasy points. That's
Ooh.
it. And I know that for a fact. So I don't want to hear about you don't know. I do know him. All right. I'm in the media industry. I know all of the athletes. You tell me a Pittsburgh athlete, I can tell you how he is as a human being. He is a
Ben Roethlisberger.
Great guy. He goes to my church. Great guy. Really. Seriously. I've known him not on a personal level. We see each other at church all the time, and every time I say, "Hey Ben, what's up?" And he's with his wife and his 2 kids, and he's always like he's a happy guy. He's he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's behind Brady, of course, but then again, he's number 1. So then you have since that whole Georgia bullshit, wrong place, wrong time. He made a mistake, and he fixed himself, and he's better, kind of like Michael Vick.
Yeah, I was going to ask if that was the Church of Rape.
No, he was never charged. Okay, are we gonna talk about this? Because what Ben got in trouble for, there was never an arraignment, an arrest, a charge. Even it was just an accusation. What about Tom Brady? Huh? He needs a new cell phone right now, doesn't he? That spoiled prick. And I defend Brady. I think he's the best quarterback of all time.
His wife is hot. He's the best ever. Just keep on hating.
I don't. I defend Brady all the time. Everyone up here in Pittsburgh hates Tom Brady. I'm like, sorry, guys. He's the best of all time. If he can win a Super Bowl with Danny Amendola as his number 2, then I got to give the guy some props, all right?
That's why they hate him.
And you have 2003 with David Given. Oh, fuck you. Troy Brown. Like, really? These guys are scrubs. He turned them into all-stars. I sympathize because we had Mario Lemieux, if you're hockey fans out there. The Lemieux could turn a bum that's found underneath a bridge somewhere in Brooklyn, turn him into a 50-goal scorer. So I can relate. I understand.
What's your stance on Crosby, Sidney Crosby?
Sidney Crosby is the victim of a scoringless system in which he tries to find comfortability with his line mates, and he can't because the system won't let it happen. He has the most points in a season. I think getting back to Yager or Lemieux in the late 90s, early 2000s, he had 120 points in a season. Last year's point scoring lead was 88. So NHL's different now, but I think when the NHL opens it up again, he will be the star. He's still one of the best in the game, but right now it's not suiting him. Malkin's taken over, and I don't know. I don't know.
Here's my take on Crosby. Very talented, injury prone, and kind of a whiny diva puss bag.
He can be. He can. I'll admit it. He can be, absolutely, but you can't deny. From the year 2007 to 2011, no one could touch him. Nobody. Guy could.
Yeah, he's very talented. My first exposure to him, like real exposure, was when the Hurricanes and Penguins played in the playoffs in Raleigh, and I had close-up seats and I got to see a lot of the interactions. And man, he was such a fucking whiner.
Yeah. Oh no. That's true. That's absolutely true. And then you have Malkin, who puts up 15 points in 4 games, but what have you? What have you? This is a wrestling podcast. I don't know why we're talking about hockey. So anyway, I'm back to boring ass monotone Mark that hates everything wrestling. Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna come up with some hit and miss segments on the spot. I hope you're ready, because I'm ready.
I'm always ready.
There's a lot on my list. And I didn't even have to check it twice because that's how fucking. Oh, by the way, okay, your ranking of Raw on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best as usual.
3.
You give it?
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that's very fair, actually.
Holy fuck! I gave it a 1. I don't know what you were watching. were you watching Lucha Underground at the same time? Which, by the way, I think I'm gonna binge watch season 1 to really get in touch with season 2. Because I have not watched a lick of Lucha Underground, but I heard it is extremely good. I saw the trailer for season 2, and it hooked me right away. I'll be a consistent watcher of season 2 for sure.
I've been telling you this for months.
I know.
You got to get into it. It is probably the best wrestling product on TV, and it's not even really a wrestling product. It's a TV show about wrestling, and it's fantastic. I'm very looking forward to season 2 in January.
Yeah, I'm really gonna, and it is in English, correct? Even though it's on the Mexican station, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, that's good. I love wrestling to death, but I don't know if I could do a different language. I need commentary as a commentator myself of athletics. I need that commentary just to give it that extra just to really put the whole puzzle piece together. So I gave Raw a 1. Let's start with 3 winners of this. Is it 3? Technically 4. 4 winners of Slammy Awards that didn't fucking show up. Can we now tell everybody that it's fixed and WWE picks who's winning before the show? Even though Michael Cole said you had all week to vote for no, you didn't. I don't think you had all week to vote for a Slammy winner. And what's the point? What's the point? They're going to pick who they want to win anyway, and then it'll work into their little system. But then 3 awards, you're just going to have the host, whoever, it doesn't even fucking matter who it is. Yet Bo Dallas claim an award for himself. I just thought that was so dumb. And you have these stooges that watch the show with their 8-year-old who pisses his pants when Cena comes out on TV. He's like, I'm going to vote for Cena. And when he loses, he's like, oh, damn it. But we all know if Stephanie doesn't want him to win, he's not going to win, right? It's everybody else. Why did The Rock win a Slammy? Who the hell cares?
Well, maybe they're trying to kiss his ass still. They really want him to show up to WrestleMania, but
it's a meaningless award. It means nothing.
Well, yeah, anyone with half a brain realizes that by now. They've taken something that used to be its own show and
It
that
went
had a
hard.
little bit of meaning. Yep.
That's
And
all you got to
and,
say.
and now it's a blip on a 3-hour show and it's completely meaningless. And yeah, it's a fucking fix like everything in wrestling. It was crazy to me watching Joey Styles just browbeat everyone on Twitter into saying it was legit, it was a
It's
shoot.
not
He was
legit.
going on a blocking spree. I mean, come on. They're telling people on live TV, oh, you can still vote for this category coming up next. Yes, and they just so happen to have the card printed out already and in a sealed envelope and ready. And by the way, they've already scripted them ahead of time to be ready for the segment. I mean, come on. It doesn't even make fucking sense that this would be real. Jesus Christ. Could they not insult our intelligence for once?
Would you watch the Slammies if it was just a network special, like the Hall of Fame award?
Of course. That's what they should. I mean, it needs to mean more first, but if they did that, hell yes, I would. Yeah. Put it on the network. That's what I said on Twitter to Joey Styles.
You did, yeah. I saw that. You did say that. I just why did they not have Kevin Owens win Breakout Star of the Year? I'm a huge Neville supporter. I love his heel work in NXT. He was brilliant. He was a cocky motherfucker, and he would cheat to win. That's how heels are supposed to be. He just played it to perfection. He doesn't. Has he won a big match? God bless the guy. He's one of their best wrestlers. Easy. He does things that I could never even ponder doing in a ring or even in real life. The training that he does. He didn't win shit. And you have Kevin Owens, who wins on his first night against the biggest man of the company. I don't know. That was just a big gripe of mine.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense to me. The clear standout winner here is Kevin Owens. There's not even a question. When you look at what he's accomplished, he beat John Cena. He's won the Intercontinental Championship. He's been in some high-profile matches. He's very over with the fans. I mean, it's not even a comparison when you look at Neville, Charlotte, Tyler Breeze, and Braun Strowman, who are the other ones you could have voted for. So, yeah, it was really stupid. You've got Neville in this storyline where Miz is degrading him and making fun of his big floppy Dumbo ears and blah blah.
It's still a shoot.
Oh,
I'll not stop saying it.
It's absolutely a shoot. Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate they treat their I guess their contractors like that, but it's absolutely a shoot.
And it's Vince like, oh god damn.
Look at those fucking ears.
Yeah. Well, there's a storyline. Miz. I don't know. I find it.
Let's turn him into Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you know what? They still use the cape for Neville, but I like they don't make it a focal point of Neville. It's just an added prop. So I'm glad they didn't actually do the superhero gig. They kept him as just. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't even matter. None of what I say matters. Absolutely none of what I say matters. Why? Okay, here's another question for everyone that thinks it's real out there. Why can't the fans vote for their? Here's an idea I picked up off another podcast. We Watch Wrestling podcast. It's a great shit. It's a great every week. It's amazing. Why? Two things. One, why don't they have fans write in their votes and have 5 entries? Each fan has to come up with 5 entries. And this will really gauge as to whether their social media engagement's big. And they have the most popular 5. So the fans know that their votes mean something. And then, like for Superstar of the Year, why not have the 2 finalists with the most votes wrestle, and that dictates the winner? Like, doesn't that mean more? I think that would be a better idea. You can't do that with like the LOL Moment of the Year, which is a fucking dumb award, or the OMG Moment of the Year. Like, if you have for Superstar of the Year, that would make it mean so much more. You have the fans vote, the top 2 wrestle, and then that dictates the winner. Match of the Year, have fans pick their favorite matches of the year. But it's funny, if that would have happened, and I'm almost 100% positive, even the casual fans would have had Bayley versus Sasha, because a lot of people have the network, and that would have been a clear choice, or another Cesaro match, or a Kevin. Where was Kevin Owens, John Cena? Unless I missed it. Was that not an entrant? Like, what the fuck? Sting and Triple H wasn't good at all. Yeah,
and it was very overbooked too to compensate for Sting's in ring ability at that point in his career. So, but yeah, to me, it's real simple. Look, they present you with a group of people to vote for one reason. The same reason Zack Ryder, who was very over on his own, wasn't pushed to the degree he should have been because he was over with the fans. That's because they push who they want to push. They control who they want to be the guy, and that's what they do. And this is no different.
I don't know. A lot of it leaves me flabbergasted. And what award did Cena win? I don't even remember. But
the hero, God damn. Oh.
It should have been
such bullshit.
I will sit there and I'll back up Big Show. I did interview him, yes, but the work he's done with the Special Olympics, and my cousin's been a part of Special Olympics before, so I have a bias there, and I understand that. So the work he does with that and Be a Star is great, but Titus or Show were my two picks, and I see Dean Ambrose doing these the fuck Make-A-Wish. Why isn't? And I know the corporate message, Cena's our Make-A-Wish guy. Well, fucking goddamn it, so is everybody else. They're doing them just as much as him. And even more so, Cena's doing less because he's busier.
Yeah, it's really stupid. Titus O'Neil is my definite pick there. The work he's done, in particular, I think, with homeless people has been fantastic. He hasn't done it to toot his own horn. WWE hasn't given him a whole lot of publicity over it. Which makes me like it even more because he's not the John Cena, look what I'm doing, guys.
But it isn't Cena making WWE promote his own stuff. You know that Cena is a good guy at heart, and it's not.
Well, I don't know that. Actually, I don't know that. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't.
I couldn't see him doing that.
Maybe. I'm just saying I don't know him, so I can't judge that either way. And I don't really care. As long as he entertains me in WWE, I don't really care if he's an asshole or if he's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah,
unless he cuts me off in traffic. Then he will see me.
that hardcore traffic in Raleigh, I tell you what, that's got to piss a lot of people off. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. What else really just frustrated me? Well, you know what? I think this is the first time that WWE has really kept kayfabe because, and this was a big rumor, but they ended up confirming it, that Stephanie McMahon was a finalist for the A Hero in You award, and she was pulled out of it to make sure she's still a selfless bitch on TV. Even though she does do a lot of volunteer and charity work outside of the company.
Yeah, okay. This is just another example of them being inconsistent on kayfabe, right?
Agreed.
So you have her doing that, and then you have Triple H getting a beating from Roman Reigns, and then all of a sudden the next day he's, the next 2 days he's at TakeOver London, or the next day, he's been showing himself around town, and he's on, Twitter and all the social media, and he's out there and, and pumping up the crowd before the TakeOver show. I mean, it's insulting our intelligence, and it takes some of the fun and drama out of the product that they could be giving us.
Listen, let me, and you watch TakeOver 2, he did mention in his opening promo at TakeOver that he got his ass kicked, and he would not be missing that for the world. So at least he mentioned it, He didn't just say...
but he has I play a bad guy on TV on his Twitter account. Like, no fucking shit, Sherlock, but do you have to rub it in our face that everything you do is fucking phony?
I wouldn't say he's phony, would you?
Well, I mean, it's the land of make-believe.
That's wrestling.
All the work. I know. And he doesn't need to keep reminding us of that.
CM Punk did, right?
They miss CM Punk. That I can tell you. This product misses CM Punk.
Let me play devil's advocate. And I'm one of the biggest CM Punk marks in the world. The last several months, while Punk was completely hurt and sick, dealing with staph. Fucking Z, pack it up, baby.
We found about that. Yeah, we found out about that after the fact, yes.
Yeah. he's sick, he's tired, he had a couple surgeries and they didn't give him any time off, and he just didn't give a shit. Do they miss that CM Punk? Because I don't think we would have gotten a Punk back like the one in 2011, 2012 than what we really wanted. Just because of how they treated him, I don't think his attitude would have changed. Maybe it would have if he got the time off that he asked for, hell, 10 times. But there's Big Vince. Oh, you want, champ. Oh, you want.
No, I mean, obviously, you don't want any person in any job to stick around when they're unhappy just to appease fans. I mean, that's selfish. And
I didn't like the CM Punk at the last 2 months of his contract. I didn't like him. He didn't appeal to me like he used to.
But he probably didn't like himself at that point. He was miserable.
He was. He absolutely was. He absolutely was. So, okay. Let's say Punk does come back. I think he will. Everyone comes back. Fucking hell. Ultimate Warrior did, and Bret Hart did. And for those that are like, Punk's different, Punk's... Okay, first of all, Bret Hart spit in Vince McMahon's face, and they nearly brawled backstage. It never got to that point with Vince and Punk. 2, Ultimate Warrior was the biggest defect in that company before Hall and Nash. Yet again, they came back. I mean, people don't get it. Brock Lesnar was sick of this shit. He went to UFC and he was a big star. But what happens? He comes back for the cash. And I guarantee you one day Goldberg will return for something. I don't know what, but it's going to be something. And everyone's going to say, well, Punk's still different. Look, if Goldberg, Bret Hart, and the Ultimate Warrior all come back, yes, CM Punk will return one day. But the fact that he hated his shit, he hated himself, and he was sick of it, made him leave. And that's why. I know this is a broken record. He left nearly 3 years ago to the day. I'm just making a point. But you're right. They do miss him. The product needs something. They also miss Daniel Bryan. But there's this shit that's happening.
Yep. They miss Daniel Bryan very badly as well. And, you know, to be honest, if Daniel Bryan was clear to return, I don't think they would bring him back on TV right now.
Why not?
Because they don't want another Batista-Daniel Bryan incident at the Royal Rumble.
Well, I see your point, and I agree with it to a certain extent. I'm starting to wonder, maybe Bryan just doesn't want to come back. Or maybe he just wants to wrestle. Which is why he did.
He wants to wrestle. He's turned down, you know, the NXT trainer job and all the things they've offered him, the commentary, whatever. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to still wrestle. And they know if they let him out of his contract that he's going to go wrestle elsewhere, and they don't want that either. They want to hold him captive until the end of his deal.
And when is that over? 2 more years?
I think he's got probably around a couple more years.
Now, this goes back to the whole Kevin Nash ideology of Vince McMahon. He'd rather have half an arena cheering for someone that he wants rather than a whole arena cheering for someone that he doesn't want. And, folks, that is an actual quote that was, I mean, Nash and Hall in shoots have said that before. It's real. It's damn real. And the only reason why the last 2 years that the main event was changed the night before was because Vince just could not deal with the backlash from the fans. That, I mean, God forbid, I love Randy and I love Batista in their respective primes and their best gimmicks. They were fucking great, and I would never take that away from them. But damn it, no one wants to see that shit. And then last year, Roman was pushed down our throats, and it was horrible. And you had Lesnar. Lesnar was going to finally lose to Roman Reigns. No one wants that. So Seth cashed in. It's a broken record. And, you know, will it happen this year? I don't know, because I think year after year, Vince loses less authority and less booking power to Triple H. But I just think it's a sole fact. And that brings me to the NXT argument. Look at NXT and look at the main roster. What's so different? NXT has one writer. NXT has a Triple H. Raw has 30 writers. I'm guessing. I'm not sure the exact number. And it has Kevin Dunn. It might be. You have 30 writers. You have Kevin Dunn, you have Vince McMahon, and you have Stephanie and Triple H giving some input. You know what? That's 35 people. That's 30 people plus 4 executives. 4. NXT, you have 1 writer and 1 executive. See the difference? One's 1 hour, one's 3 hours. Big difference.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Will it change? I doubt it.
Not with Vince around. It won't.
Is it really going to take Vince retiring or dying? God forbid. I don't want anyone to die. To really change this place.
Well, I think that'll be the first opportunity for change. Will it happen? I don't know, but yeah, that's what it's going to take. And I don't see him actually retiring. I think only some sort of a serious illness or death would prevent him from running the company.
Well, I don't want to see Vince away from the company. But why not as a consultant, or why not? And I know he hates being on TV because of how he looks. He doesn't look very good, but keep him as an on-screen character. Keep him as a consultant for their marketing or sales. Just a network, maybe. Just don't let him book. He doesn't know how to book anymore. And maybe he does, because last week, Raw was good last week. It was. I don't care what anybody says. It was good. The booking was good, and it was
all right.
Oh, it's better than what they've been doing by a vast margin.
Yeah, but that's also like saying, I went from 1 penny to 2 penny in profit, and I doubled my profit. Well, yeah, you doubled your profit, but by the way, you only have 2 pennies. It's the same difference. It's such a low bar. Yes, the ratings went up, but they still suck. Yes, you have 2 cents now instead of 1, but you're still poor as fuck.
This could all be the fact that wrestling might just not be popular anymore. I want to see ratings.
No shit. They got rid of all the casual fans.
And where did they go?
They're watching football. They're watching anything but wrestling.
And well, how do you fix that? Let's dive into that. How do you fix this problem? Because it is a problem.
It's a problem. It's a problem you fix by creating compelling characters and believable stars and storylines that are consistent and have continuity, where you want to see people have a promo. You want to see them go at each other on TV, on pay-per-view. You want to see them fight. And you stop telling people and rubbing it in their faces that it's a work. It's not a difficult fix. They've done this before.
So you want to go back to the entire kayfabe 100%, like that? Is that what you're telling me?
It doesn't have to be 100% kayfabe, but you just don't need. Everybody knows it's a work. It doesn't mean that you need to consistently remind them of that.
Yeah.
Let them get into the land of make-believe and have fun with it and emotionally invest. And it'll be a lot more fun for everybody. But their TV, even the most basic TV principles, and you being a TV guy should understand this. You've got commercial breaks, okay? But you want to create a hook before your commercial break so that these viewers have a reason to stay with the same channel they're on. So they want to see what happens next. If you watch primetime TV, How to Get Away with Murder, shows like that are very high ratings, very good shows, they all have a hook in between commercial breaks. I would not make matches multiple segments long as a rule. In a segment, I would fit the entire entrance and the match and everything about that match. Everything in it would all be one segment. Because what you learn is, once you have a match and you interrupt that match for a commercial break, you lose the emotional investment you had in the match as the viewer. When it comes back on now, you're starting back from square one, trying to regain that emotional investment in the match that's already been underway. It just is not a great concept. So I would stick to most matches, most anything being one segment, and then give them the hook as to what's next. I mean, this is basic. This is basic TV writing.
You know what's kind of funny is that the Slammies, as stupid and pointless and meaningless as they are, they followed that rule of thumb. What's coming up next? You're going to find out the winner of the Slammy Award. That doesn't happen now.
Well, nobody cares. I mean, that's great if you do that, but
you get what I'm saying, though. Like they use that practice once a year, and it's only for the Slammy Awards because we're going to find out who's winning coming up next. People want to know who's going to win. If they would have made it compelling, people would have stayed. They wouldn't have left. But their version of cliffhanger in the middle of a show is, oh well, Owen's into the barricade. Well, I don't know what the hell Cole says. Well, let's keep it here. Let's see if Owens can come out of this one. That's not a cliffhanger. That's stupid. It's just dumb.
Well, that's because Michael Cole sucks. The announcers, okay, all these guys on commentary are produced very poorly. Okay, so
how was Mauro Ranallo on SmackDown? I didn't get to watch it.
I don't know how he was, to be honest.
I'm not sure. I'm excited to see how he did. This is a guy with no wrestling background, all boxing, so it's a different feel.
Yeah, I mean, he's done New Japan wrestling and whatever.
Has he? Okay.
Yeah. So he's got some experience, and he's really good. The problem is, it's like you can stick anybody who's fantastic in that role, and if they're produced poorly, they're not going to be very good, no matter who it is.
Well, Jim Ross even said once in an interview that he'd rather be calling the match with no headset on because he can't hear anybody else.
Yeah.
And why do you think he said that, right?
Well, of course. Everyone, I mean, Mick Foley said it, that Vince McMahon used to yell at him in the headset when he used to do commentary.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's, it's everybody understands that it's just, okay, it is what it is. So Mauro has done football, hockey, professional wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, and MMA, Pride FC, Showtime for Elite XC, Strike Force for MMA, and then Showtime Championship Wrestling, or Showtime Championship Boxing, rather. And then, of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling on Axis, which is a network that hosts the New Japan Pro Wrestling on US TV. And but it's not episodic. That's the problem I have with it. But anyway, he's really good. I've seen some of his announcing. Okay. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how he does, because it'll be very telling of how produced he is, because I've seen him out of the WWE environment and he's very good.
Oh, and by the way, I was incorrect. He doesn't start till January 7th. Their first show on the USA Network.
Okay, that may be why I didn't hear him. I mean, I didn't watch all of SmackDown.
I thought he was starting like immediately. I was incorrect.
Yeah, but, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, my roommate said something interesting last night, and we were talking about the UFC, and I didn't really notice how the UFC's dying in popularity. It's not dying as a company. It's actually flourishing because of the Reebok contract, and now Dana White's fucking everyone in the ass and taking all the money for himself. But why doesn't the WWE try to really capitalize on this? Because a lot of people that were wrestling fans, I'm assuming, but I'm almost positive that they're going to take that step towards the UFC because it's real. And I'm just looking at the payouts. And you have Brad. I'm gonna. I don't know if you're an MMA fan at all, but
yeah, you do. We've talked about this.
I don't remember. I really don't.
Okay. I honestly think you were drunk.
I might have.
I started watching UFC at the very first pay-per-view in the beginning of the 90s. Yes.
That's right. Dan
no longer than you've been alive.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Wait, hold on. When was that 94?
I think it was like 91. Somewhere in that.
Really?
It was like around 91.
I thought it was 94. I can be wrong.
Well, then again, you watched it.
93. So you're wrong. You're wrong, bitch.
No,
I was born.
No, I don't think. No, it wasn't 93.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. November 12th, 1993 in Denver, Colorado. Hoist Gracie fought, was it 4 times? I think it was 4 times. 3 times. Yeah, he fought Gerard Gordeau and Ken Shamrock, and then Art Jimerson. And it was the
No, it was in
bracket.
90. It was 93.
That's what I just said. 93.
Oh no, 93. No, you said 94. I thought.
That was my guess, but then I looked. It was 93.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 93.
And I was born April 22nd, 1993. So, bitch, you're wrong.
Oh wow. Yeah, you've got a few months, young one.
I do. No, Hoyt's. By the way, how great was Hoyt's Gracie? Holy shit! My uncle used to train with him out in California. He said he was the nicest guy. Holy fuck.
Yeah, he's my favorite of all time in MMA.
See, my favorite, and you're gonna call me a scrub. I didn't start watching UFC until UFC 100, just because I wasn't introduced to it. But I watched UFC 100.
Just a kid still.
I was 16 when 16 or 17 when I started to watch it. So I've been watching for 4 or 5 years. But I did my research. You know, I became a fan. You know, I looked up at Severin, Shamrock, to Bigfoot, his early days of fighting, and Pride, Shogun, Minotauro. Anyway, so Anderson Silva might be my favorite. Because of how good he really was. He was a cocky son of a bitch, but man, he could fight. You know, Forrest Griffin was always great. Him and Stephan Bonner at the first Tough finale was my favorite fight ever. So, you know,
that was a great fight.
It was. Anyway, guess the entire payout, and we're including prelims. The entire payout for UFC 194.
Probably a couple 100,000.
Oh, really? You think it's that little?
I mean, I don't know how many were in the card, but I know the winners. I mean, the winners' payouts. Well, first of all, a lot of the guys were not getting paid. Who obviously, if they didn't win, and then a lot of the undercard guys were not getting paid a ton to begin with.
So the entire payroll, there were 12 fights total. The entire disclosed payroll for UFC 194 was $2.5 million.
But that's obviously got to include all the production and everything else, right?
That's just payroll to fighters. That's it.
I don't believe that.
No, it's MMA Mania. It's SB Nation's fight site. It's legit. It's very legit.
Yeah, everything. You can't tell me that. 12 fights, so 24 people. And 24 people was $2.5 million paid out to them. There's no way.
You have to understand.
There's no way
that some of the prelims. Court McGee beat Marcio Alexander Jr. Marcio Alexander Jr. only made $12,000 that fight. Court McGee won $48,000 because he got $24,000 to show up, and he got $24,000 for the win. John Makdessi fought Yancy Medeiros. Medeiros won $42,000. John Makdessi only $30,000. Joe Proctor lost. He only won $13,000. Colby Covington, another no name, $18,000. Jocelyn Jones Lieberger, $10,000. Frankie Sands lost to Uriah Faber. Frankie got $20,000. Jeremy Stevens on the main card lost. He only got $43,000.
Right.
And you go up the line. The 3 biggest payouts of the night. McGregor won $500,000. You wouldn't believe that, but it's true. Then that doesn't include his win bonus if he got one. Jose Aldo made $400,000, and then coming in third place was, I think it was Faber. Uriah Faber for $300,000. So
I still don't see where that's $2.5 million. That doesn't add up. I mean, if you do,
I didn't include everybody. There's still a shit ton of fighters. I didn't say half the fighters what they made.
Okay, but they weren't making more than the top guys. And when you divide that out, there's 24 fighters, right? 12 fights. Yeah. Okay, so that would mean if you do the simple math, just a mathematical equation, the average fighter would have to make over $100,000 per fight for that $2.5 million.
Yes, $107,000 to be exact.
But you just listed a bunch of guys who didn't make anywhere close to that.
I understand that, but when you add up McGregor, Aldo, and Faber, that's $1.2 million.
Okay,
out of 3 fighters.
Okay, but you're missing more than half the other money.
I will send this to you right now. I didn't actually go in and do all the math. I'm going to tweet it to you at this very moment. and you can see shit. That's Mad Braddock's. I want to send it to Mad Braddock's. While you look at that, why don't we do something fun? It's called fantasy booking, and I'm going to give you some fantasy booking of my own. Brad, you want to hear? I know you want to hear. It might not make any sense. It might be completely erroneous, but I think it makes sense because we're going to do. My logic when we're talking about fantasy booking is, and I'm taking this from 1985 to 2015. So in that 30 years difference, here are my big guns, if you will, my dream matches. Okay, good idea. Asking Dave. I know Dave is a nice dude. Anyway, the dream team: Barry Windham, Mike Rotundo. If I got that right, I wasn't alive back then. Yeah, I was right. Face off against the New Day. Why? I don't know. Because who cares? That's still 3-on-2. And they've only held 3 championships between them. And yeah, well, what do you think, Brad? Is that a good tag team championship match? Would you watch that? The dream team.
Okay, but who's the dream team?
I didn't do a lot of as you say, research. I kind of just put it together.
Really? No, get out of here.
You know what? I'm trying to read my article. I don't actually say who the 2 of the dream team are. Just pictures. So it might mislead the viewer, or rather the reader. But whoever the fuck, New Day wins. This one's fun. Tito Santana against the Ryback. Tito Santana, mind you, Hall of Famer, 2-time tag champ, 2-time Intercontinental champ. They're the same height, but Ryback outweighs him by nearly 60 pounds.
Yeah, I think that's stupid.
Seems fair to me. Why is it stupid? I worked hard on that match. I did.
Well, you need to work harder because it sucks.
I don't know. I have the Ryback winning. I actually wrote the Ryback. Holy shit. How about that? Well, in a perfect world, Santana, whatever the fuck. And I haven't drank
Carlos Santana. What?
He can play guitar better than anybody. Santana is the overall better wrestler. Would help him to victory. The Ryback, he's just too strong. And
too fucking clumsy.
Yeah, he is. Here's one I know you'll like. Hulk Hogan from 1985, WrestleMania 1, and Seth Rollins. Why? I don't know. Sounds fun to me.
I think that's another stupid match.
Why is it stupid?
How do you even compare the two? One is the face of the company. One isn't. One's arguably the biggest star of all time. One isn't. One is a high flyer. One isn't. Other than having a championship, and by the way, Hogan's reigns as champion were a lot longer.
Yeah.
I don't see the comparison as to why you would have the two square off. That's not a match I would want to see.
Me neither. Well, I mean, since I obviously wrote it, I would like to see it. I could see him Hulk up, point, and come back. Why did I write that? That's not grammar specific. I idolized Hogan when I was growing up because I'm 40. So clearly it's Hulk Hogan. It's Hulk Hogan for the win.
This is sounding a little fishy to me there, John Fisher.
We haven't even looked at. Well, here's the problem. I only fantasy booked 3 matches. I thought I had more. And clearly I was mistaken.
Luckily for that, we're all grateful for that.
Well, you don't want to hear any more matches that are in my fantasy.
I'm starting to think you actually do work for the creative team.
Am I Dewey? I might be. You don't know. You have no idea. You have no idea.
Well, yeah, I'd rather have no idea if these are the ideas you have. These are terrible.
Well, I'm gonna. Luckily, I'm telling my boss on you. He's gonna get upset.
He's gonna get angry. He's gonna block me on Twitter.
Did he really block you on Twitter? Because I really.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Who cares? Plenty of people block me on Twitter. You know what?
The Young Bucks blocked you on
line.
Twitter.
Yes, they did. That's true.
By the way,
the crybaby Bucks.
And somebody asked me just flat out, how does Ryback versus Santana work? I don't get it. And so I wrote back, what do you mean? It's fantasy booking based on longest reigning champions. That's a valid argument. I mean,
wow, it's just a stupid concept. I mean, I don't really know what to say. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean, people are asking me at this very second if I have any more fantasy booking. I don't at the moment. I thought 4 was enough to get the point across.
Oh, it gets the point across.
For those who don't know, we just totally shit on somebody, so I don't want to reveal their name, but none of this was my idea. I'm much smarter than that. You know, if I were to fantasy book Seth Rollins, I would love a match against Randy Savage. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah,
Randy Savage, Razor Ramon will be good against Rollins. They have a similar body. Well, Razor was like bulkier, but like same physique, athleticism off the charts by both men. Charisma is also great in the ring. I think a Razor and Seth match would have been really cool to see. Just thinking out loud.
Yeah. All right. So
that one was legit, by the way. That was a serious one.
Oh, okay.
What? You don't like a fantasy booking Razor Ramon and Seth Rollins? I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, that could be a good match for sure.
And you're not being sarcastic, are you?
No, I'm actually not.
Okay, good. Yeah. I cut you off. What were you going to lead into?
Yeah, I was just going to say the Young Bucks had to make one more final comment about me on Twitter.
They did?
Over the past week. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So one of the Young Bucks blocked Voices of Wrestling.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And that's the site that I do ROH reviews and analysis for every week. Check it out. And so they made a comment. It was an interesting development. And so the Crybaby Bucks responded back that they didn't block Voices of Wrestling. They didn't, basically acted like they had no idea what was going on and said, we just blocked one of your terrible writers. Of course, he was referring to me. So Crybaby Bucks, get a diaper change and suck on a bottle, bitches.
So are they calling you a shitty writer because you talk shit on them, or are they just criticizing your writing style from a journalism perspective?
No, they are mad because of the things I said in my review about them. They can't take anybody criticizing them. They have thin skin. That's just the bottom line. And look, yeah, I did criticize them, and it may have been harsh. But I also said some positive things, too, that nobody's talking about. I listed all the things that I thought they did really well. And then I listed the stuff I don't like about them, which is what I think they don't do well. That's life. It's an opinion. Everybody has one. Who really cares?
I agree. I don't know what else I can really say. But I have breaking news, Brett. I really do. I'm working currently right now, as we speak, type, on fantasy booking for 1995 versus 2015. I will have 05 versus 2015 by the end of the week.
I'm on the edge of my seat. There, I said it. I can't wait.
Oh, by the way, everyone, I want to draw your attention to not former friends. They are friends of the show, TopRopePress.com. And for me, I'm gonna give them some help. We have over 20 viewers each week. Thank you very much for listening. We really do appreciate everything. Do you like pro wrestling? Are you an experienced writer? Do you have a lot of free time during the day? Come write for us, topropress.com. Go ahead, guys. Seriously, they need some help. They need some help. Because Brad and I left, so they they wouldn't. Well, they wouldn't want me as a writer.
No,
actually, they never asked. But I don't have enough time to write for my website that I'm on right now, so I really couldn't have been much help at all. As for Brad, he doesn't contribute enough to anything. So.
Oh boy!
What? I'm putting on chapstick. What? Nah. Legitimately though, brand chapstick, classic cherry is the greatest, and it's winter. It's by the way, it's 60 degrees in Pittsburgh in wintertime. You don't know how happy I am.
Yeah, I went out of the house this evening and it was 74 degrees and it's raining and it's cloudy and I was like, what the fuck? Welcome to winter in North Carolina.
Well, I mean, just south of you, they're getting hammered with storms. There was tornado warnings in Alabama where my buddy lives all day. So you could be them. You could be on the edge of Tornado Alley down in Alabama.
No, I would not. I could not because I would never move there in the middle of fucking Tornado Alley because I have an IQ above 80.
Me neither. I can't believe whatever. This is a wrestling podcast. As my voice cracked. This is a wrestling podcast. Damn it. Speaking of wrestling, Brad, I heard from a little birdie you have a Christmas Carol to sing. Is that true?
I do. I'm
that's what you told me off
air. About this. I'm very excited about this.
Fucking do it, man. Let's go.
I'm going to do it. It's a very merry McMahon Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas at the McMahon household. I'm ready. And I just want to give you a warning. If you don't like offensive content, now's the time to go to your room. Turn on the lights.
Don't. Don't. You need to come up with something new. Powdering your pussy just sounds odd. It doesn't come off the tongue well. You need to think of something else.
Well, is powdering your pussy supposed to come off the tongue well?
No. If you're gonna make fun of anyone, you need to say something like, "You need to go home, get in your shower, pile drive the shit out of your girlfriend, and jump out the window." I don't know. Like, think of something else, like catchy and creative. Not. I don't know. Go home, find your wife, find your kid. I don't know. Let them smack you in the dick. Something stupid. Like, I don't know. Like, think. I'm sorry. I'm rambling.
You, sir, are holding up my Christmas Carol.
That's the point.
You are turning me into the Grinch.
I'm no. Okay. That's Jason, but keep going.
That's actually, that's Ryan, not Jason. But okay, so again, if you don't like, let's face it, if you don't like offensive content, you probably don't listen anyway. So fuck it.
Good point.
Right. Okay. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through Vince's house, not a superstar was stirring, not even his spouse. His top talents all hung by the chimney and bare, in hopes that Vince McMahon would soon be there. The divas were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of a real division danced in their heads. And Linda in her kerchief and Steph in her cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, Vince's Viagra kicked in. He was longer and fatter. Away to the window he ran in a flash. He tore open the shutters like Roman Reigns' ass. The moon on the breast of a drunken Al Snow gave the lust of some fun with his hardness below. When what to his wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny queers. With boyish good looks so lively and quick, Vince knew in a moment he'd give them his prick. More rapid than eagles his lust overcame as he whistled them out and he shouted by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the business, I can give you it all. I'll make you famous with money and all. Up to the housetop, the courses they flew with a sleigh full of dildos and Vince McMahon too. And then in a twinkling, you heard on the roof the grunting and moaning, their morals aloof. As they all gave him head and were turning around, he said, "You're fired," and laid the smack down. He sprang back to his bed and was soon out of sight, but I heard him exclaim, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
There you go. Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done.
Thank you.
Wonderfully done. I have nothing after that. I don't know if I could, honestly. And I'm the master of spontaneity and on the off the cuff speaking, but I don't know. I can't top that. I really can't. So brava, you have silenced me finally, and it's about damn time.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, no, seriously, you should be good. Oh, so I said before I didn't have breaking news. Oh, I have. It was 9 hours ago, so technically by my standards, it's not breaking anymore. Breaking's within 3 hours. That's it. But PW Insider, your employer, Brad, is reporting that Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis, both of Ring of Honor, real life couple, real life sweethearts, are leaving for TNA. I must ask you, what the fuck are they doing? Because we found out before the podcast, as you and I briefly talked about, TNA made their debut on Pop TV. Who's heard of Pop TV? No one's answering because neither have we. What were their right? Well, let's start with how many people watched. I can tell you what rating they got.
111,000 people.
And what superseded their rating?
The lead-in was, I think, Days of Our Lives. It was a soap opera, repeat from years and years ago, and that got like a lot more viewers than Impact.
Yeah.
And now granted, and okay, so I understand this was kind of like their best matches or whatever. It wasn't a full show, but okay, you can say this was their debut show. So maybe they don't get as much as they would normally, once the actual shows get going. But this had to be a real wake-up call for people who were overly optimistic about TNA on Pop TV. I mean, yes, they're in a lot more households than Destination America, but a lot more people watch Destination America than Pop TV. So it really doesn't matter. You have to watch the show. It doesn't matter how many households you're in if nobody watches it.
Yeah, that's true.
And nobody's watching this.
Oh, yeah. By the way, they brought in a 0.03 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic.
That's not good at all. Yeah.
0.03. 0.03. What does that mean?
Sounds like my blood alcohol content.
That's good. That means you can drive. That's one beer. What do you mean? I don't even understand. So NXT, what can you say? What can you say other than they're the... Think of it this way. If you have Christmas lights, and this is going to be a hell of a metaphor, if you have Christmas lights and all of them go out because there's a short on one of the lights, but there's that one that stays lit. That's NXT. Not bad, huh? That's NXT in a nutshell, really. It's happening as we speak. We're recording this on Wednesday night for Thursday in the afternoon. I gotta say, man, do you see any negative spots? I mean, you have TakeOver. We talked about it last week. You have Nia Jax performing admirably well against Bayley, and Bayley, I mean, major props to her. She was able to take a non, as you say it, non-wrestler. She's still green. And put her over well as still a beast. It took her, what was it, like 6 minutes to finally make her tap. They sold it well. I know you had your reservations, though.
Well, I mean, not Nia Jax is greener than grass. She's a good monster heel potential. I
Yeah.
just thought they did the match too early. I didn't like how Bailey kicked out of 4 leg drops. Her finisher pretty much is killed. Overall, they did. I enjoyed the match. I think they have to have Bailey lose the title soon to someone. I thought it should have been Eva, and I thought it should have been Nia Jackson. So now they need some major heel with major heat to go over on her so she can chase them for the title. I think that's where the money is. It always is in wrestling, and they've kind of squandered that by having her beat Eva and Nia, who are really the two most over girls on the roster as far as heels go in NXT.
I bet you it's going to be Eva. She's going to come back and do it, and it'll be the corporation or whatever they said. It'll be them backing her up. They'll have a referee screw job, and Bailey's going to get screwed over, and that'll be her main roster debut as soon after that. As soon as that feud's over, I don't see it going any other way. Bailey's going to have to go up to the main roster eventually, and does Vince want to make some money off her t-shirts? Girls love her.
Yeah, she's almost at the point, though, where she could start getting into dangerous territory like that John Cena, the female John Cena, where she just beats everybody and overcomes all the odds all the time. They really have to be careful not to make her too John Cena-like, or the crowd could turn on her.
Unfortunately, it's coming close, which is why she needs to drop it soon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out and say next TakeOver special. Do it on an episode of NXT. I don't know. Spoilers, regardless of those. You have to. You have to make her drop it soon. I don't think you have any other choice. I really don't.
Yep.
So before we go, Brad, it's been a hell of a year. I know I graduated from school. I'm doing all these other things. You're looking good. So I mean, we were all winning in some aspect of life. And what was your number one thing that you asked for Christmas?
My number one thing that I asked for Christmas.
Yeah. What did you ask Santa for this year?
Oh, geez. Geez, I would like a new laptop or a stereo sound system for my living room. I think I would love for Santa to bring me that.
Okay. I miss when Christmas was simple. And I would love an Xbox One. I'll have all the 3 big systems. I'm a big video game guy. I would love a girlfriend, but that sounds pathetic. As some call me, I'm a joke. So, haha, very funny. And I would love a new editing software. I need Final Cut on my computer badly. It's getting shitty. It's getting really shitty for me to edit everything that I do. I want a new phone. I need to go get that, but that costs money. I want my loans to go away. There's another thing, but as a purist as I am, I just want one thing. Do you want to take a guess what that is? And no, it isn't Bieber behind the stage passes. I already got those a year ago.
Oh, okay. So my next guess was One Direction.
That's not far from the truth. But I will tell you what I do want, and that is to be able to watch good wrestling once again. I feel like I'm a very lucky guy. I have a good life, good health. I'm fortunate, great upbringing, and everyone loves me, especially on Twitter. As we speak.
That's debatable.
You should go to my Twitter, by the way. Just FYI, right now. So, and everyone loves me, as I say sarcastically. I just want to watch good wrestling because that's my number one thing in life right now, aside from family and friends and the real importance of life. For me, it's wrestling, and I just want good wrestling. I want to turn on Monday Night Raw at 7:58 on Monday evenings on the USA Network for DirecTV users, channel 242, and I want to be able to be excited. I want to go in saying, I want to know what's going to happen. I want to be able to get hyped, as Mojo Rawley would say it. I want to get hyped from Monday Night Raw. More so often, I would just not care enough. But, for my job and what I do on the side, I must watch. I must continue to keep up a consistent viewership with the flagship show of World Wrestling Entertainment. And for that, I say, Vince, please. And if you're going to be Santa, that's fine. All I want from you is good wrestling again. I want a good product. I want good characters. I want good storytelling. I like compelling television, and I don't want to suffer anymore.
Oh my gosh! You know, I just read Twitter, and you are such a shit disturber. Oh my god!
Let's be fair. You got blocked by the Young Bucks. I'm way far behind on that scale.
That's true.
Of shit disturbing. If anyone's gonna call me a shit disturber, it best not be you. That's hypocritical because you're up there with Vince Russo and others that we know very well. But hey, at least it brought you a good laugh, and I'm glad. Yeah. And to the dozens and dozens that listen to us every week, I must thank you.
Millions of listeners are so fucking pumped about this podcast.
I would be, and I have surprises for next year. But yeah, we still have one more episode left before 2015 is over, and I think y'all are gonna really like it. I really think that everyone's going to like it. It's our end of the year awards, and I'm not going to really give away what the awards will be yet, but they'll be on Twitter. So if you want to follow us on John Fisher IQ and the Brad Shepard, please chime in. I love talking to fans. I really do.
I do too.
As I'm saying more sarcastically, I don't come after people like that idiot said last week. I'm not. I like to have fun and kid around, and honestly, I love to talk wrestling with people who are respectful of others. And if you're not respectful of others in any way possible, yeah, you're going to get shit on because the world is so negative as it is. Why be negative as well? Why bring negativity and pessimism to a whole new group of people that you interact with that make everything worse? Be positive today. Hold the door open for somebody. Don't masturbate. Try to do the things that are right in the world, and thus you will be rewarded with good karma. And no, I'm not a Jew, but I so think that karma is real. And that was a joke. But
well, she is. She was on WWE TV.
No, for real though. If you're respectful, I'm respectful. I'm not like that. Really, I'm not. So I
am king of working jabroni marks into a shoot, brother.
I know you are. Oh, well, so does Gene Okerlund. But but yeah, no, comment, tweet, Facebook, it doesn't matter, man. I'm more than willing to talk to you, and I will take all the time out in the world. You just got to let me know when. And by the way, Dave Bixenspan, and those payouts are legit.
I did see Dave's tweet. I would like to know still who that includes, that 2.5 million number.
Yeah. Well, anything to say to the people, Brad, before we go? And by the way, one of my surprises, we will have an indie wrestler on our show in 2016.
Absolutely, we will.
Wait, do you have someone? Because I have someone.
Oh, I guess we got a double surprise there, brother.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Is it Hulk? Yo.
Hulk Hogan. I'll tell you right now. In 2016, Hulk Hogan will not be on this podcast.
Oh, good. We don't want racists on our podcast. No, legitimately, we'll have an indie wrestler on the podcast next year. It's going to be great. He works for PWX. I'm not going to give away his name, but he's a Pittsburgh wrestler, indie wrestler, and he's a great guy. I work with him in the television section, so of the world, the television industry, and I hope that you guys will like it. But that's next year. Next week are the awards. We'll let you know on Twitter what they are. Brett, anything to say to the people, the haters, the lovers, more so the haters? What we got? Your final comments?
Follow me on Twitter. I love to interact with my fans. I've got a lot of them. I don't mind interacting with you at the Brad Shepard, SHEPARD. Hit me up on Twitter. Follow me, stalk me, and listen to our podcast and retweet it. We'd love to. We only get 20 listeners a week. I'd love to have 21. I think I know who one of those 21 is. I think he's rather upset at you right now. Well,
you want to know what karma's like? Because I was a jerk, but I was only kidding. This is a podcast. It's a persona. Brad knows me outside of the podcast. I would like to think I'm an extremely generous and nice person.
Wait a minute. What is going? You mean to tell me a podcast, two adults talking about a fake sport where two guys are wrestling around in their underwear? You mean it's not serious?
No, wow. I don't think so. Is it supposed to be?
No, it's not supposed to be serious. Hopefully people don't think that.
Yeah, well, there are those people, and I would like to say to them, I'm sorry, and it's not going to matter because I blocked them on Twitter. So that's all there is to know. That's all there is to know. Like I said, folks, life sucks. Don't associate yourself with shitty people because why? You don't want to waste your time.
And they're on the naughty list with Santa.
Anything else, Brad?
Ho, ho, ho. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Have a happy holidays, folks.
You two. We'll see you all next week, everybody. Take care. Merry Christmas.